favorite jacket's still on, so that means we're still doing these top 10 movies of 2016, movies that just stood out to make you go like, yep, when I look back on 2016, these are the 10 movies I'm going to remember, for better or for worse. And now it's that time to get into the top 10 worst movies of this year. Like I said, I haven't seen every movie that came out this year. I've seen a nice amount of them. Some movies flew under my radar. Some movies I did see that was like, that should be on the top 10 list, but there was worse shit out there. And like I said, my list is going to be different from your list. It's going to be some movies that I felt were shit, and some movies you're going to probably be like, that movie wasn't shit. What the fuck, man? What? I'm just saying, what the power of the internet's all about, you know, opinions. There's no right or wrong answer. It's all about what you think. That being said, let's just jump right into it. Here's my personal opinion, my personal top 10 worst movies list of 2016. Being like, it was a bad movie, I didn't like it too much, but there were worse movies out. And this movie for number 10 is going to be, for me, Ice Age Collision Course. I didn't do a review on this movie because I just knew that I was going to go to this movie and not like it. What happened? Went to the movie and did not like it. I'm not a fan of the Ice Age movie, so I know you're thinking, why did you see it then? Well, I got a screener for it and the kids wanted to see it, so why not? I was thinking, okay, maybe this will be the Ice Age movie that'll make me be like, you know what, maybe I'll take a chance to go watch the other Ice Age movies. Wrong. The movie was just a mess. Visually, it was just not a par, but then again, it's not Disney, so why even bring visuals into it? I didn't really care about the characters or the stories that they were going through. It was just there was one character in particular, I think it was the Weasel. I dug him. He was cool. Everybody else, I was just like, I don't give two shits, so I hope you all get killed by a meteor. That was some dark shit, but that's why Ice Age Collision Course is number 10. Number 9, moving up the ladder. The next movie that I just saw, I was like, you know what? I need at least one comedy to represent the top 10 worst movies this year. What was the worst comedy I've seen this year that really didn't make me laugh too much? I'm going to say it was Why Him? I just saw this movie and I felt like James Franco and Bryan Cranston just didn't have that like chemistry together that I feel like when I have two people in a comedy movie work. It didn't have it for me. I mean, like the jokes in it were okay. Some of them made me laugh, but none of them made me really just belly laugh. It was just a real mess of a movie. I mean, not a lot of funny parts in it. The movie predictable as shit. The movie is very just like, okay, you've seen this type of movie before. It's just one of the many, and the jokes are really hit and miss. And for me, like I said, I'm not a fan of comedies too much, and of all the comedies I've seen this year, I felt like this was between this and Neighbors 2. So whatever one you're happy with, Neighbors 2 or Why Him, number 9 for me. 8, I almost forgot about this movie. I almost forgot, so I did like a triple take of my top 10 worst list to defy what was going to be number 8. And I saw this movie on the list. I was like, oh yeah, that got to get on this list. And that movie is 50 Shades of Black. This movie is a spoof of 50 Shades of Grey, and it wasn't a good spoof. It's the reason why spoof movies are where they're at right now. In the fucking trash. This movie was just pretty much ripping off everything from 50 Shades of Grey to the T. And if you didn't like that movie, then why do this movie? If you're gonna do a spoof movie, do a spoof movie of something that was actually good. I literally saw this movie with my brother. We were just like, he was just like, okay, come on, the movie's gonna be bad. Let's go watch it. And I was just like, it came out in January, so I was like, well, I do need some movies for my top 10 worst list that's gonna be later this year. So, okay, yeah, it's gonna be a good contender. And guess what? It's number 8, 50 Shades of Black. Now, number 7 for me, a lot of people are going to be like, I like this movie. This movie was good. You don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Me, like I said, my personal list, and I love horror movies, and I've seen a bunch of horror movies, and I'm being honest, this horror movie didn't do it for me. I felt this horror movie was just fucking like, it was stupid. Didn't need to happen at all. Why? Because we need a horror movie in the summertime, okay? That movie is Lights Out. Like I said, the first half of this movie just pretty much told you how to take care of the demon ghost. So like I said, if you're going to reveal how to kill the ghost in the first 10-20 minutes of the movie, then why don't the characters figure that shit out along with us and hurry up and get to the movie? Like I said, in the horror movie, you're going to figure out how to kill the ghost and all that. That's usually like in the middle half to towards the end of the movie. So that way, when they actually do figure it out, we all figure it out together. And when we kill the ghost at the end, then it's like, yeah, Trump. They just revealed the ghost and showed how to kill him in the first 10-20 minutes. So it's just like, now we got the rest hour and 10 minutes to just watch shit happen. It wasn't scary at all. Like I just said, the lights out, lights on, lights out, lights on, and then the ghost just kills you off camera. Bullshit. I didn't like the movie at all. It was like a couple of scares in it that were just like all from the trailer. I hate when the movie trailers reveal all the scares in the movie, leave nothing to be desired. That was just like lights out stupid. That's why it's number 7 on my list. Number 6 for me is actually a Disney movie. Oh my god, a Disney movie on the top 10 worst list. Wow. Yeah, that movie's going to be the BFG. The reason why the BFG is number 6 and not higher up, but not really lower on my list, is because this is honestly, guys, the first movie ever in my life that I've seen that I fell asleep in. I fell asleep in the movie twice. I wasn't even sleepy. I've stayed up for like long movies. Like I was at that 10:50 screening of Rogue One, and about 2 hours. Yeah, I was up. This movie I saw like at 7 o'clock or something. I was just like, after 10-15 minutes. Sleep. The movie was just really slow, really boring. Visually, it was great. I'll praise you for that. Visually, I did like it in that aspect. But everything else about it was just one big cartoon, one big boring cartoon at that. I fell asleep for like twice in the movie. That's why I didn't review it, because I was like, I can't properly review a movie if I fell asleep in it, because there were parts in it I missed. Thus, here we are. But the BFG, which is a disappointment to me, I was just like, I didn't have too many high hopes for the movie, and when I fell asleep in it twice, I was just like, yeah, no movie has ever put me to sleep like this, so it does deserve a spot as number 6 on the top 10 worst list. 5 for me, right in that middle pocket. Again, another movie people are going to be like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bro. You don't. Why is this on the list? And like I said, I went through all the bullshit with this movie. When it came out, did a review on it, had my opinion on it. People were just like, what the fuck you, fuck you, I'm out. And that movie is, we're going to go back to it. Let's get it over with. That movie's going to be The Witch. The movie was hailed and marketed as the most scariest movie ever. Oh my god, this movie is super scary. I went into this movie, I shouldn't go into movies hype, but when the movie just like, okay, most scariest movie ever. Stephen King said was the most scariest movie he's ever seen, kept them up all night. And then I walked out of the movie just like, it was eerie. Yeah, eerie. Scary? No. Like I said, it's just, the movie was just creepy atmosphere, a lot of creepy music. Yeah, that's enough to get your jimmies rolling, then awesome. For me, I'll require a little bit more in my horror movies, like, you know, a good cohesive story, which was it in the movie, more or less. It was just pretty much just like, oh, the devil or something possesses this. I can't even repeat this movie because it's forgettable. Yeah, I really don't know how this movie really goes all like that, because it was that forgettable. I had to rewatch my review for it to be like, oh yeah, that's why I hated that movie, because it was shit. It lived with my expectation. The movie was not scary as fuck at all. It was just a bunch of boring, bland characters in the woods, and that in the movie, the little girl, or a teenager daughter, goes into the forest, she gets butt naked, she floats into the air and shit, does like this, turns to a witch, and then credits. And I was like, well, this is why I don't listen to people when it comes to horror movies, because that was bullshit. 4 for me, yet again, another horror movie, but this one came out in January, so you know it had to get on the top 10 worst list. And that movie is The Forest. And this was the second movie I seen this year, because at first I was going to see this first, and the Revenant was just like, no, see me first, start your year off awesome. And I did it. Then I saw The Forest. I was just like, yeah, we're back in January now. Because The Forest was just, I had little to no hopes with this movie, but the way it was executed, the way it was written, the way it was just done, I was just like, who greenlighted this shit? Who did this? I distinctly remember the end of the movie being like, the woman, she found her sister, but she ended up being trapped in the forest and suicide forest herself as a ghost and shit. But the way it was executed was just like, okay, if she had just went straight this way to get to her sister before all this other unnecessary crazy shit happened, they both could have got out of the suicide forest, and that'd have been that. No, we had to have her go all over the suicide forest for like an hour or 30 minutes to watch this crazy unnecessary bullshit that doesn't have like 0 to no scares in it. Oh, it's just stupid. It's a movie that you've probably forgotten about. About me, I don't forget about bad movies, especially bad horror movies, and that's why this movie, The Forest, is number 4. Down number 3 for me, yet again, another horror movie. Jesus Christ. There's a lot of horror movies this year. Let's next year, let's try to strive for less horror movies in the top 10 worst list. Number 3 for me is definitely The Darkness. It's already on the list because that movie was dumb. It had a bunch of characters that you just are not going to like, you're not going to relate to, that were just fucking unrelatable and stupid as fuck, and it was just like, why is this movie happening? We need to have a horror movie that comes out directly after Civil War, because that's what people want to see after seeing Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Captain America fight. They want to see some darkness. That's where it's at. Starting with just a mess of a movie, it was just hardly scary, and I remember distinctly hating the fuck out of the daughter because she was a bitch. She was like, she gets the award for #1 bitch in 2016. Bitch. Acting was horrible. The plot was all over the place. It didn't make no sense. It was just like I said, it wasn't even scary at all. There was like a couple of jump scares and it that were cool. They were okay. Hey, rest of the movie just is just a mess of a movie. Again, another movie that you probably didn't even see this year. You probably saw it one time, forgot about it, and now I'm here to remind you that The Darkness is #3 as one of the worst movies this year. For me, I did a somewhat ghetto review for this movie because I felt like it didn't deserve for me to get on camera and talk about it. It did not. And #2 for me is gonna definitely be Boo, Madea Halloween. I've seen all the Madea movies. I've seen them all, and I've had my enjoyment with them. But I never thought to myself like they would ever be like a super bad one. This one. Super bad one. Oh my god, like everybody's movie was a fucking cartoon, and it was crazy because Tyler Perry does do decent, halfway decent Madea movies. I remember what the last Madea movie was, the Christmas one. I actually liked the shit out of that movie. I thought it was a really good Christmas movie. Did she need to do Halloween? No. But this will be like the final nail in the coffin for Madea because I felt like just because of the supporting characters around Madea that just make the movie, bring the movie down, it's made it terrible. And like I said, it was important in this movie a little bit towards the end where it did have a redeeming quality. Like, okay, just could bring it back. It won't save the movie, but it will at least make it be like, it wasn't super, super bad. Until we had a real end of the movie where all the kids were on the school bus. It was just a complete cartoon mess. And I was just like, yep, there it goes. Now it's back to being shit again. Way to go, Tyler Perry. The only movie I gave the fucking awful rating to, the only one. So that's why it's got to be #1. It's got to be the king of all shit. And for me, that movie is definitely going to be, you know what it is, Tracy. The Blair Witch. Had zero expectations with this movie. I saw the trailer for it, and like I said, rewatch my intro to this movie review.
Who could have done this? You did this!
Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, and that's still a whole. This movie was just fucking stupid. Didn't need to happen. It felt like the director was just like, let's just piggyback off of the success of the Blair Witch Project. People still love found footage movies, right? They're not tired of found footage movies, right? Right, there's a reason why Paranormal Activity is fucking over. Because found footage movies are over. No, now the Blair Witch movie came out and that movie was just shit. I could go into detail more why I hated it, but that's why you got my link to the review. Go watch it on my review for the movie. You'll find out why I thought it was shit. I'm not gonna go back into it now. Just know that movie was just terrible. I hated the ending. I hated the beginning. I hated the middle. It was one character movie. I was just like, you know what? Yeah, I think this could be good. Oh, when he's dead, and now it sucks again. So the Blair Witch is definitely my #1 movie of the year that I just fucking hated. It gets #1, and there you go. Those are my top 10 worst movies of 2016. Like I said, I didn't see all of them. Some movies may be on the list that you don't think should be on there. You think that's true? Put in comments, let me know. Just talk about it. What's your top 10 worst movie this year? What is it? Hey, if it's Batman v Superman, then put that down there and we'll talk about that. And as always, guys, subscribe. Until next time.